live stream. Today I brought seedlings again to check through. I brought seeds to clean, cactus seeds from the current season. And I brought some other stuff that I will get into later. I want to spray a couple plants with neem oil. So I brought that. I brought a big water sprayer. And I want to mix that up. So there will be lots of stuff to do today. Apart from that, some good news. I finally ordered some stuff that we needed to sow out. But also I will get into that again later. Just right now, trying to get started. I brought these 2 containers here from the oven because I had them there for quite a while and I haven't seen any kind of seedling, so I wanted to open them up just to look into that. And these were the only 2 where there was any life in the container. So I'm not sure what happened with the others. Either we didn't meet the right temperature range, or maybe the seeds were just not viable, and that happens quite a lot. So yeah, let me see here. Only 1 seedling in this one, and the 1 seedling doesn't look like it's going to make it. That's unfortunate. It's possible that the 1 seedling here that came up, that it was healthy, but it was at the heat source for too long. That can happen when you, in the beginning, when you just leave them at the heat too long. When they are just a seed, a corn of seed, then they are not so sensitive. But the moment you have a healthy growing seedling, it's very sensitive to too much heat. So maybe this was caused by myself. We'll see. And this is the only seedling, so it's not a genetically healthy cross. It could be that the whole thing is just could be discarded. At this point, it's hard to tell. Welcome to the stream, guys. Great to have you around. Just going through these containers we have sown out. And I just want to check out what's going on in this one. In this one, I think I planted a chestnut. A big chestnut. And at the time when I did that, I wasn't sure if I was doing it right. So far, there's no seedling yet. I believe they might need stratification, cold treatment. So I will look into that again. It's not that I absolutely have to grow more chestnut, but I wanted to have a bunch of different chestnut cultivars because some of them have bigger chestnuts than others. Okay. Yeah, so welcome to the stream. I'm happy to say that I got another book order, and that allowed me to order new sowing soil finally. I ordered 3 bags of sowing soil for the future. So we can start sowing out other stuff too. I also ordered the little Jiffy cups that I talked about yesterday. I wanted to get those for a while, and I only call them Jiffy cups. I'm not sure if this is a brand name. I don't know how to call them otherwise. I don't know, pressed peat thing, pellets, I don't know. But I ordered 100 of those and some chili seeds, which is also great. I wanted to do that for quite some time. 10 different types of chili seeds. I'm not sure if they will be viable, but I really hope so. First time I believe that I'm buying chili seeds. I honestly might have to go to the local supermarket to see if maybe they have something interesting there. But yeah, for now, got the important stuff ordered, and there will be more more content in winter on the live stream. I wanted to start sowing out all kinds of stuff, but in the last couple of months were pretty rough, hard months where surviving was essential. So I'm just glad that things got a little bit easier now, tiny, slightly better, and I'm looking forward sowing out over the winter now with the new stuff that is coming. I hope that DHL won't just ship it back again like last time. I still haven't heard from that package that I ordered maybe a month ago. And it was a big, heavy package, so they must have had a very bad time shipping it back. Okay, so I'm going through seedlings now, cactus seedlings from that we've sown out here. And yeah, I opened these, check them out, and you can see there's a huge difference in regards to the size between these here and the little tiny one on the left. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Apart from that, I'm a little bit worried. The skin looks a little bit waxy, slightly transparent, not something that I like to see. But for now, I will leave it alone. I don't see enough damage that I feel it needs to be taken out. For now, I will leave it in there because it could also be a mutated seedling, maybe a crest, maybe a monstrous seedling, and they just sometimes grow slower. They are a little delayed sometimes, so it can really make sense to wait for the little seedlings that stay behind a little. In this case, there's a bunch of very big seedlings and a bunch of very small ones. I'm not even sure if the small ones grow normally. Doesn't look like it, because otherwise they might already be bigger. It could be that they are just stunted, that they maybe had problems with the roots. But then again, they've been like that for months now. So I believe it's probably not that. Here's a seedling in center, and that looks almost white, and that one really worries me, because it could be a variegated seedling, and eventually it would expire and causing a fungal infection right in the middle of the seedlings, which I don't want to have. So yeah, but for now, this could be variegated. We'll see if it manages to survive on the own root. And always happy to take questions, that kind of stuff. Just going through the containers full of seedlings that we planted in the last couple of months. Also brought seeds to clean, a lot of them, and this is probably the last ones that are already cleaned. After that, I might have to clean again. And yeah, I also brought the stuff with the neem oil. This is going to be a huge thing. I'm not sure if I've done this before, but I really brought the sprayer with me, and I filled the whole thing with water. I brought the neem oil already here, and I brought something to make it to make it stick. Like there's a certain kind of emulsion that you can buy in the apothec in CVS, whatever. I can't speak that word right now, but there's a thing that you can buy to make the neem oil somewhat applicable. Remulgan is the name. Just says emulgator, and that kind of stuff's great to make it work. Otherwise, I'm not sure why, but otherwise the pesticide might not be able to actually hit the mealybug. mealybug have that kind of a outer layer as a protection. They produce meal-like material that's very dry, and it might not get there without, if it's just the oil. So I brought that too, and I want to mix that later. But for now, I'm still doing the seedlings. Yeah, these are looking great, actually. I like them. Bunch of red ones in between, but not a huge thing. I'm not worried. Apart from that, a little bit of moss, and also maybe slightly too deep, planted too deep. But that's okay. I'm happy with the way the seedlings look like here. That's okay. And I also brought the neem oil to spray to spray the seedlings indoors. I really want to make sure that we will not get problems with pests indoors, especially mealybug. I don't want to have any mealybug in the house. So that's why I brought the neem oil, and I also brought a couple plants to test it, and we'll see how that goes. So, okay, these are looking good. Very young seedlings. Not really seeing the problem. I feel like the stuff with the fungus gnats has calmed down a little for now. We might still find a bunch, but overall, the really bad containers were transplanted into pumice. Yeah, and some of the others weren't really affected. But like I said, I now ordered new sowing soil. So for the future, we will just work with sowing soil, and I hope that it's better treated, that it's already steamed a little, whatever, something that prevents the fungus gnat infestation that we had the last time. Okay, so here something came up, a grass, I guess, in the washed pumice. So something in the washed pumice probably had that in it. Okay, I'm taking that out because I don't want to have something that roots very excessively as grass does. If you ever try to rip out grass outside in the garden, you know they form a pretty big root system, and I wanna avoid having that situation with the cactus seedlings, because when you have to rip it out later, it will have such a huge root system that it will unpot everything. It will take every seedling out with it. So yeah, best do it right away. It's not that grass is a huge problem. Not at all. But it just covers the seedlings. It takes away nutrients, takes away light very often, because it just grows faster than the cactus seedlings. Okay, and in this one, I had cactus seedlings in washed pumice, and I'm just transplanting them, giving them a better stand in the soil, better position. Sometimes I'm potting them a little bit deeper than before. And the washed pumice is just a little bit loose. It's loose material. And that's why when you buy a mineral soil, a mineral mix, when you buy something, it also has other stuff in it to prevent that from happening, to prevent the little cactus seedlings to roll around in a mostly round medium. And I mean, it's not perfectly round, but it's just round enough to cause constant movement. And that's just not good for cactus seedlings. They need some sort of a stability They need to be able to grow the root in peace, you know. Let me root in peace, please. So the others look good, but I'm really worried about one or two of them. It's just not when you transplant them very early on, then that is just not perfect. I like to have them in a very organic sowing soil, something like that, in the first months, because they grow faster that way. Cactus seedlings just love to have a little bit of humidity and nutrients early on. Later, the whole thing turns around and it becomes risky to keep them in that soil. But in the first 3 months, sowing soil is a pretty good thing. I hadn't transplanted them if it hadn't been for the fungus gnat problem. So welcome to the stream, everyone. I will do this container here, and then I want to show you the neem oil stuff that I have beside me. Yeah, and these are the seedlings that had that interesting discoloration only at the tip. They look interesting. I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but the tip has a very unique reddish discoloration, almost white. We'll see how that looks later on. It could just be a normal trait. Not every species grows the same, so very young seedlings can, if it's a species that I haven't seen before, just as a seedling, I mean, then maybe it's a trait, but right now I don't think so. It looks a little bit more like a mutation, so that would be great. Okay, so I brought two plants from the greenhouse, and these are both Echinopsis. These are the Pseudolobivia hybrid. That's so great. And I had noticed that they have problems with mealybug. So what I want to do now is I want to first clean this thing up here. This is the oxalis that I want gone. Be gone, oxalis. Be gone. Such an annoying plant. I can't stand it, and it comes back so fast. And as if that wasn't enough, it catapults the seeds through the greenhouse. So yeah, I will clean that up a little bit. Now also check if there's anything living in that pot, because I will, when I treat it with a pesticide, with neem oil, I don't want to hit any kind of living thing. I don't want to have random insects in the pot when I do that, because this is bad for insects, for most insects. So I always try to just, if something's alive in this thing, we will take it out before. We just owe it to these guys. They have done nothing wrong. They're just living in the pot, and I want to do everything in my power to just not punish them for it. Okay, yeah, this is a more organic soil. I think this could even be the cemetery soil that I started using last year. Yeah, looks good. Looks okay. Not seeing anything, any insect, something like that. No little spiders. And then I want to spray these later. Putting this aside to discuss the neem oil. Neem, it's just a plant that has proven to be a somewhat decent pesticide. And you also have the action of just the oil, which is generally bad for a lot of insects, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and I want to use that later. I want to do a video about that probably, but I wanted to show you already. I brought a big water sprayer. That thing will allow me to, in the future, in summer, just spray the plants that have it. It's a very effective, but basic kind of like thing to get rid of pests and all. But there are different kinds of products on the market. Some are cold extracts, which apparently are better. That's what I read. And yeah, if it's not a cold extract, the active agent in that kind of, it's a plant extract, and apparently not everything is taken over in the oil, and you need to that's why you need the cold extract for it. But yeah, we will try that out. I just decided that this year I will not have mealybug problems. I'm just not seeing it. I don't like mealybugs. Mealybugs are really bad pest. And this year I want to have a sprayer on the side in summer. And if there's a problem, I just want to be able to spray them. You know, they are like little lice that are covered in like flour, like covered with flour. That's how they look like, little whitish dots, and they are really bad for cactus seedlings. The younger the plant, the worse it can get with the roots, because they attack the roots, and you never really notice them. You just find the seedling that suddenly no longer has a root system. So yeah, we will do that in summer. I just wanted to already tell you about it. And yeah, okay. So let's continue with the seedlings. I've had this for 10 years or so, the neem oil, and I've used it a few times, maybe 6, 7, 8 times, I don't know. But the stuff has risks, and it caused burns on plants that were completely healthy. So every now and then you have these reactions that you cannot predict, and that makes it something that I don't like it. But I also realize that the damage that the mealybug are doing, it's even worse. So at some point you have to decide what you want to do when both options aren't great. But I'm tired of seeing any kind of mealybug. They are just not good to have around, especially not for crests. I had a lot of problem in summer. Had to spray a crested plant that was pretty big, and they constantly cause problems because that kind of a crested growth is perfect for them. I don't know why, but it suits them very well, and they can cause a lot of damage there. Okay, and yeah, it's a plant extract, so it's not really heavy. I think it's used in organic gardening also, but I'm not entirely sure about that, but I think it is. Okay. This is looking interesting. Some of the seedlings look totally different than the others. Very interesting cross. Seedlings look a little bit mutated. And this was a cross that had a columnar father. So something spiny, something like a flying saucer hybrid as mother, and a columnar white flowering father. And the body looks interesting. Looks like the father played a big role in it. Okay. Tiny cactus seedlings. Not looking super healthy, to be honest. When I look into this thing here, I see a lot of them that are tiny, where I can already tell you that they will not long-term grow, that they are just there to nice try, and that's it again. But some bigger ones in the container too. Teleflora. I should have known when I saw the seedlings. I should have known. Yeah, maybe we can get a bunch of them to adulthood. Teleflora is a plant that genetically the seedlings, sometimes you might have to graft them because they are so sickly. Okay. These are looking okay. Good. Nice, healthy seedlings, and the whole container is full. Not seeing one that's looking bad. Reinhard Liske Mother. I think these are Gräser. Gräsers Erfolg, Selbstbestäubung and Cantora Gelb. I believe that was the mother plant for these. It's a very good ruffled kind of hybrid. Big flowers. Flower size influence from Cantora. Okay. The seedlings look a little bit too deep in the pot. Apart from that, nothing bad. Healthy seedlings, and most of them in one wave. A few smaller ones that are a little bit behind, but looking okay. I really hope that DHL doesn't ship back my new sowing soil too. I'm really frustrated. Okay, this one, very young seedlings, just maybe a couple of weeks old. A little bit older. This must be maybe already 4 weeks, and they have barely grown. Probably a little bit delayed in the germination. These came up. At first, I only saw one seedling, and later the others followed. Sometimes when you have them under the lamp, under a plant lamp, then they come up. Okay, so here these are seedlings that I transplanted into the pumice, and I'm slowly considering that this is a total loss, this container. Yeah, they just had too much damage on the roots. So I'm constantly taking out new seedlings that didn't make it. I might not be able to save any kind of seedling in this container. We'll see. But right now I'm taking out 4 seedlings and there are only like 10 in it. But you have them. When I opened it up, the fungus gnat damage looked really bad, horrible. Okay. If we eventually have one seedling that is healthy that makes it, then that's good. For this container, definitely. The only thing that you can do if you see early on that the root system is damaged, you could graft them early on. That's the only thing you could do. These are cactus seeds, different cactus seedlings that we have grown in the last maybe 2 months. I started sowing out, and these are all different kind of flower color hybrids, like with big flowers. Nice cactus hybrids, especially because of the nice flowers that they have. Some Lobivia, some Syrensia, Echinopsis, everything. Little bit of everything. And the one thing they have in common is that the flowers are great. And right now, I'm going through all the seedlings. We have grown a lot. I would guess maybe 100 containers. And now we will try to get them to adulthood, which will be a big challenge. Okay. Looking okay. I mean, I'm not seeing any seedling that has root problems, and that's the big thing that had worried me when I saw how wet the soil is in this one. It's sometimes a little bit hard to get the humidity perfect every time. There will always be those containers that just are a little bit too wet or too dry. Too dry isn't the problem. You can always put more water in it, but everything that's in the bag is in it, and then you would have to maybe put a little hole in it or open it up a little bit to get the humidity out. But then you also have the risk that fungus gnats can get to it. Any kind of a pest could get through the opening. So yeah, sometimes it's better to water a little bit carefully and not too much in the beginning, because it's so hard to even it out later. And in the next couple of weeks, we will start sowing out the chili that I ordered. Want to say it again, I ordered 10 different types of chili, and that will be interesting. I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, I ordered the little pressed kind of peat pellets that you can sow out in, and I want to sow out a bunch of different trees, different fruit trees, that kind of stuff. Will be a fun project on the live stream. Okay, so in this one also, these are transplanted into washed pumice, and there was a reason that they were transplanted. Definitely a bunch of seedlings that didn't make it. Not so bad as the others, but bad enough. Since I now ordered the sowing soil, we could also at one point just transplant them into sowing soil, which probably doesn't have all the problems with the fungus gnats that the other soil had. So I'm really looking forward finally getting sowing soil again. Sowing out with this more organic soil, I don't think I can recommend it fully. It's just too organic a little bit, and that can make it harder to get the humidity out of it when you need it, like when you have problems with fungus gnats, for example. Okay. Yep. Seedlings. And looking great. I see 3 that are a lot like further along than the others, and also a bunch of smaller ones that are way behind. Not sure, but they look great. Healthy seedlings. 1 or 2 with discoloration from the lamp, but that does not bother me at all. That is okay. Little bit of discoloration, little reaction to the lamp. It's just healthy. It's just like when, I mean, if you look at it, it's probably a little bit stress also, but it shows me that the plant is actively reacting to the environment, to what's going on, that it's growing. It's not really something that I would promote, that I would want to absolutely need to have, but every now and then when it happens, it doesn't bother me. These are looking great. And also different waves of seedlings, different size. Will be an interesting cross. These are columnar mother and an interesting kind of flowering father. So this could be mutated. This has a lot of potential. We'll see what we do here. But they look really interesting. Some of them you can already see that there will be mutations coming from certain crosses, where you can already see the high number of weirdly looking seedlings. Okay, so here's a little moss that I removed, and somehow the moss had covered seedlings even, and I really don't like when that happens, so I've removed it. There are 1 or 2 seedlings that look like they could be variegated. They don't look healthy. Already a little bit milky. That is always such a bad sign. Okay. Yeah, apart from that, classic Humcus Roro seedlings, not healthy, but I don't want to blast them every time. I don't want to talk bad about that poor hybrid every time. So, what's here? Oh, this is one of the sunflower seeds that came up. Check it out. I've been feeding the birds somewhere where I have the washed pumice, and somehow a bunch of sunflower seeds got into the washed pumice, and now every now and then I have a sunflower coming up. We'll see. Maybe we will keep it, but for now I will leave it in. It has maybe 2 weeks at the most because it's already growing so fast. If I want to keep it, I will take it out. Maybe we are growing sunflower indoors. I have never tried that. Would be interesting. Okay, so in this one, I don't like this at all. There's a seedling that is completely transparent, milky, like I said earlier, and that's not a good thing. Tells me the seedling's already gone. So, and this is almost certainly from fungus gnats. So I would take that seedling out already, and I consider just taking them out of humidity at this point. I already have another container full of seedlings that I took out the bag already. It's a little bit early, but if we do everything right, it might not matter. We just have to spray them on a regular basis. But as long as we do it, it's okay. We'll see. I'm worried if I close it up again, whatever took that one seedling that I just took out will just claim another one next time, and more and more and more. So at some point, I will probably take it out of humidity. I don't want to transplant them right now. They're just not big enough. So what I want to do is I would take it out of the humidity and let the soil dry completely. I want the soil to be completely dry, so the fungus gnats can really lay their eggs anymore, or whatever they are doing. So this one goes under the lamp, out of the bag. We'll see how that goes. Okay. All right. We just clean up a little. There are just 4 more containers over there. And then I want to do the seeds, because there are so many cactus seeds that I have around that I want to clean. For the future, every time I see fungus gnats, I will open this thing up and let everything dry out completely. That's my plan for the future. And yeah, so we will inspect every container closely. I want to take them out before they cause substantial damage. I really need a flashlight so I can light into this thing, because the larvae of the fungus gnats, they often light up if you hit them with light. They're a little reflective. I can't see any, but it doesn't mean that they aren't there. Seedlings look good, so I'm closing it up again. Okay. I just thought I saw a fungus gnat, but now I'm not seeing it. Trying to breathe on them, to make them fly up if they are present. Make yourselves known. Nope, I don't think we have any. So that's great. Seedlings looking good. Maybe a little bit more than a month old. 6 weeks, something like that. But looking very good. I feel like I haven't seen fungus gnats so far in the last 2 streams. And I'm almost certain they will still show up. Because that would be unlikely that it happens. But I feel like we have them under control. At least a little bit. Okay, yeah, these are looking good. Great. Healthy seedlings. Too many seedlings. I see so much work. I see so much repotting work in the future of spiny plants. They already look spiny as cactus seedlings now. So, but apart from that, everything great in here, and I'm closing it up again. Okay. These look interesting. Interesting kind of body. This must be something like a lobivia or something like that. Can't tell. It just has a number, but the body looks a little bit weirdish, slender, small. Doesn't look like this is going to be a huge columnar plant. That I can tell you that. But no fungus gnats, no problem. Seedlings a little bit too deep, but I'm very happy. There were these 1 or 2 containers that were full of problems, but apart from that, it's okay. You always lose some. It's just part of the game. Okay. I don't like something. I need to show you. So the seedlings look great, okay? But there's that one seedling in there that looks orange. That looks like something has eaten parts of the green skin. And that is not good. That tells me that I might have to take them out of the humidity. Because if something has already attacked that one seedling, it might come back to do it with the others, you know. Okay, so here's the seedling. No chlorophyll in it anymore. Here's another seedling that looks bad. I think we will take them out. We will take those out of humidity now. The soil is enough. The soil is organic enough. This will work. We'll take them out of humidity now and let it dry out. Makes it three different containers that are out of the bag now. Okay, nice. So this was our seedlings. And now I want to clean some of the seeds that I have here. There's just good stuff in it. Really good stuff that I need to clean. This one here, Teleflora. I never had so many fruits on Teleflora. And the viability of those could be very short-lived kind of seed. So it's important to get it cleaned right away. A lot of the crosses that end up with a poor viability, they often have somewhat decent viability in the first couple months, maybe 2-3 months. If you feel like the seeds already look like they might not be very long-lived, then you can just sow them out right away. I was just hearing a barking dog. That's why I was just a little bit absent. But it wasn't our dog, so yeah. Okay. I scraped the seeds from the paper towel now. And now I want to clean it a little bit better. It's a great hybrid, Teleflora. Everyone who sees the plant says, wow, this is unique, interesting. Cool body, good flowers, perfect kind of plant. But, you know, not genetically superb. It's a little bit like myself, you know, like a little bit troubled, just slightly. Okay. Could be maybe 200 seeds. Always trying to sort out the non-viable seeds right away. You can usually see it. And if you can't see it, you can feel it. That a seed is just empty sometimes. Empty shell. You can just, when you touch it, you know. And Teleflora has a lot of those. In German, they would call it Taubesamen, numb seeds. Numb in the sense of without life. Also translates to what was it? Like when you're hearing impaired, deaf, also translating to deaf. Okay. Yeah, maybe 250 seeds if we're lucky, but I don't think we will get that many seedlings. I believe when we will sow them out, we would get maybe 30 seedlings at the most. So the Teleflora seeds, they are way up on the list. of priorities that needs to be sown out right away. If you put these aside and sow them out 2 years later, I don't think you will get a lot of seedlings. You can do that with a lot of seeds. A lot of species have great shelf life, but these usually don't. So I'm just trying to clean everything, rolling the seeds around on the piece of paper, and the organic material, like the dust and debris and everything that stays behind in center, collects in center, and it allows me to clean it off, to brush it off. Just the roundish seeds usually roll to the side, and that allows me to just clean up a little. Before we would sow them out, I don't want to have any kind of dirt in the seeds, with the seeds, when I'm sowing out. So either clean them right away a few times, or you're constantly cleaning up like I am. When I'm packing seeds, I do the same. Rolling them around on a piece of paper, trying to judge if the seeds are viable or not. Because when you're a seed seller, you can't just put in these kind of flattish seeds that where you know they will never make it. That's something that every good seed seller will do. If not, then they will probably have a high rate of unhappy customers. Later today, I will try to get maybe a COVID test to make. I believe I have something like the flu. Been feeling a little off in the last days, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure, but I just feel that something's a little off, like compared to usually. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you notice something's different. That's how I feel right now. So we'll see. Every time I made a COVID test, like in the beginning, I constantly felt like I had it, and was constantly testing, and the tests always were negative. And eventually, then, to my surprise, at one point it was positive, and it was pretty bad. So this time it feels similar, but also not so bad than back then. So I'm just trying to sort out what's viable and what's not, distinguish them, distinguish between the viable and the unviable ones. And then we will sow them out when the new sowing soil is here. Only thing that we might need is pots, like square pots like this. I have to order new ones, and I will do that with the next order that I get. Every time I get a book order, I buy a little stuff here and there that I need for the business, for sowing out. And yeah, next time I'm buying the square pots. Square pots and maybe a few bigger pots. That's the kind of stuff that you always need when you're a cactus breeder. Okay. Yeah, and we will sow them out right away. I will not wait long. This is the kind of stuff that just needs to be sown out right away. I might put a bunch aside just in case for someone, friend of mine or something, but apart from that, they need to be sown out very fast. There's just not a lot of life in them. And it's very different with most of the other seeds that I have. They're just every now and then I know the plant that produces this kind of short-lived kind of offspring, and Teleflora is one. Okay. Apart from that, almost clean. It's just a good feeling when the seeds are finally clean after you've rolled them around for so long. At some point, when you only have the seeds on the piece of paper, that's a very stress relieving feeling, at least for me. I'm not sure if it's not normal, probably not. So I hope it doesn't happen for you. Like that you are getting, it's like very mild on the spectrum. Okay. Yes, seedlings are great. Seedlings are healthy. And apart from that, I will move them to the lamp again later. Apart from that, I want to do more and more seed cleaning again now in the next couple of weeks. So maybe I will take the camera again and just clean. I still have, I guess, maybe 50 little Lobivia fruits that I want to clean. They don't take as much work like the big ones. The big ones just have a lot more pulp in them and need a lot more work. The small Lobivia fruit, you can even put them aside because there's not a lot of fruit material to them. They will not turn into a huge mess. They will just dry out like a raisin. And I have a bunch of those lying around still. And some of them really good, so I need to do something with them. Sometimes you can even get the seeds out without washing them. But it's better to do it underwater. Just because everything's cleaner, they have a better viability later on. Just don't keep them in the water for too long. Okay. Teleflora. Third fruit that I had that season. I just wrote down number 3. And I think I had 7 fruits on one plant. That was pretty big. I never had it on Teleflora like this year. So it will be interesting to see what will come from them, from those 7 fruits, and if the offspring will be different. I was even worrying, like, with so many different crosses that all succeeded. I was even thinking it might have been self-pollinating, but probably not. Because the seeds are just not healthy enough for that. The seedlings are not healthy enough for that. I believe I just had a little luck with picking the right parents this year. Or maybe I had one. While I was filming the time-lapse videos indoors, I had the Teleflora and another plant pretty close. Maybe that one pollinated them all. We will see. We will see how the seedlings will look like, and if the crosses look different, every one of them. We'll see. But it was worth it just for the time-lapse material that I filmed. It would have been worth it if that happened, if it had pollinated everything under the time-lapse. That would be great. I don't mind. Teleflora on the time-lapse video was this year one of my highlights. Flowers are pretty big. Really had a lot of fun just filming that. Had to move a huge plant into the house. Almost broke it. I'm not sure if I can do it again this year, like in the next year, next season. I don't think I can. I repotted the plant, and now the situation is a lot more shaky. I don't think I can move that plant under the time lapse again in the next season. And maybe that's good. I'm sorry, I'm sick. I'm just feeling like something isn't right. Okay. Yeah, maybe 200, 250 seeds. There are a bunch that are big enough that they might come up, so I would take them with me. But most of the stuff that I sorted out here, you could feel that they aren't viable. Some very flat seeds, a lot of non-developed seeds, barely developed seeds. And you really need to feel them sometimes. It's just, sometimes you feel that it's completely devoid of life. Okay. And the rest will be sown out in the next couple of weeks, I guess. I'm not sure what we will do first. When the chili seeds come, I want to do that right away. I'm really looking forward to that. Hey, Robert. Great to have you around. Welcome to the stream. I think I have COVID. I'm not sure, but my nose is itching. I feel like I don't know. But we will get snow. That's a good thing. I was out with Kami earlier today and we walked into the snow. Just one step and she turned around and went inside again. And maybe we will get a little bit more snow in the next days. I really hope that, because I want Kami to see the snow. Okay. Okay, so next one. What's here? Arboricola. I think I had 15 fruits of Arboricola grandiflorus hybrids this year. They were super fertile this year, flowering all summer. And I was so blown away by them. They're just great hybrids. In my opinion, the Arboricola grandiflorus cross that Misplant did is one of the best hybrids that he created. A little bit similar like with the Zelly hybrid, but this one has produced so beautiful plants that that I really like the cross. And if I would have to judge, like in regards to the quality, I would put the hybrid very way up of the stuff that he made in the last 30 years, 25 years, whatever. But it's really good kind of cross. Brought a lot of interesting kind of hybrids. Plants that flower with 20 flowers at once. I've shown them in the videos, like when I'm showing my plant, like the mother plant of the botanical Arboricola that I have, and it's just white flowers, but there's so many of them all at once. It's a very impressive kind of plant. Okay. And the seeds are pretty small. Classic Störensia kind of seeds. Arboricola is one of my favorite kind of plants. I have one that I bought maybe in 2005. And maybe a little later, I'm not sure. At some point, I bought a plant on eBay. And back then, it already cost me $50. And that was a lot of money for me. In the beginning, I barely spent any kind of money on plants because I just didn't have the money. So When I bought that for $50, that was a lot of money. And yeah, I propagated that plant and almost lost it in the first year because the slugs also loved it. But the moment it had reached a certain size, that thing was indestructible. No matter if it was slugs taking bites out of it, cold weather, small pot, whatever, you know. That is such a hardy plant, such a hardy species. And when you combine that with colored flowers in the newer hybrids, that just makes a very impressive plant. I'm looking forward to the Arboricola hybrids that I personally made. I made a bunch with Arboricola and pink stripes, that kind of stuff. Feel like that could be great. I see potential in Arboricola. It might never have the biggest flowers, but very few plants flower like Arboricola, with so many at once. Okay. Yeah, and I grew maybe 100 seedlings from misplants, Arboricola, variegated grandiflorus cross. Maybe 100 seedlings, and most of them are still here. They are just pretty hardy. And I had them in one big pot. I didn't really single them out. I just left them because I was already having too many of them. And they look great. So it's a very good plant for beginners, for people, or for people who just want to plan something out to have an impressive flowering time in summer. If I would be able to plant cacti out, Arboricola would be right in the front because it's so impressive in summer. Also great plant, like for the bees, it has so much pollen. Every time I'm moving the flowering plant because it has too much pollen, I don't want it to pollinate everything in the nearby area. And when I move that plant, I'm full of pollen. So these are good traits if you see it from just a success point of view. Very successful plant. Okay, yes, seed-wise, maybe 250, maybe 300 at the most. And the seeds are so small, I can't really sort out a lot here. Even the viable seeds are so small. So I will just bag them up. And I'm very happy that I can start sowing out other stuff in the next couple of months. That would be great. I would try to get seeds of pawpaw trees. I like them. I really like them. I've seen them. And very interesting kind of plant. I haven't eaten a pawpaw fruit yet, but I will plant them, and then I will find out if I like them or not. Just a cool tree that I would already try to grow just because it's a cool tree. So yeah, that's some of the stuff that's coming in the next months. And tomorrow I will pack books again. I wanted to do it today, but I forgot about that. Just had too many different things that I wanted to bring. Okay. Cerensia arboricola crossed with variegated grandiflorus. That was the mother. And the fruit was harvested on September the 7th. I probably took photos that day so I can always tell which one a fruit came from. Wasn't incredibly well organized this year, but it was good enough for that. Okay. This is just Wörlitz Cantora. And Wörlitz Cantora is always interesting. Always has potential. If you have too much space, just grow maybe 200 seedlings of Wörlitz Cantora Gelb and just see what kind of a range you get. Not all crosses are equally good, but I've seen some that if you looked at it over 100 seedlings, like if over a bigger sample size, they turned out amazing. If only 10 of the seedlings are amazing out of 100, then that's worth it. You just discard whatever you don't need and keep the 10 best ones. Okay. And I have a lot of different Wörlitz Cantora plants, just because you never know which one will flower at the day you need it. Sometimes you need that particular kind of flower that very day. And if you have a few of them, the likelihood increases that it will actually work. Okay. Just cleaning the seeds a little bit here. And there weren't so many seeds to begin with. Maybe 150, 200, something like that, but barely. I don't think we're having 150 actually now that I see them again. And that happens a lot. Pink stripes, Wörlitz Cantora, sometimes they don't have a lot of pollen. And that also means when you make the cross, you might not have enough pollen. But it doesn't apply every time. Pink stripes has been proven to be a great parent for me. Made some good hybrids with pink stripes. So, and I just hope that in the next few days it will snow, and that it will snow in a way that Kami can walk through the snow. I want to see her in the snow. She's been mostly an indoor cat, and I'm just taking her out every now and then to just experience that kind of stuff, and I'm just looking forward to that. I want to see her jump into the tall snow and run into the house again right away. That is the kind of stuff that I'm looking forward to. I always wanted to bring her snow into the house, but that never really worked. And in the last year, I'm taking her out with me very often during the day, just trying to give her a good quality of life. And yeah, that's the little things, like I'm very happy that Kami's still here with how old she is. And the fact that I can show her the snow now makes me happy. It's been such a bad year that I'm thankful for that. Just the little things, you know. In summer, it looked pretty bad with Kami. I didn't think she would still be here in winter, so I'm very thankful. And I already know she will touch the snow and turn around like she did this morning. It was very little snow. It just barely qualified as snow this morning. So I hope that maybe in the next days we'll be able to walk through that. Also Mika likes to run through the snow. And it also allows me to see what kind of an animal is constantly taking a dump in my garden. It's been happened quite a few times, just last week again. I think it's a fox probably, but it could also be another cat. I'm not sure. We'll see. Okay. So Wörlitz Cantora Gelb. And that's the cross, the same cross that produced Pink Stripes, classic hybrid. Okay. And it was a cold night tonight. Really cold night. I'm so thankful to have a running heater right now. Just the little things in life, just being able to be inside and have a working heater. That already is such a great thing. So this morning when I turned on the television, by the way, they were showing Jack and Jill, like that Adam Sandler movie. And they showed it in German, like in a German dub. And that made that movie even worse. And it's already one of the worst movies that were ever made. And in German, it was just so much worse. So I was watching like maybe 30 minutes of it this morning, but I couldn't. It was just... It's really one of the worst movies that I have ever seen. Okay, so this one here, I'm not sure what it is. The writing says like Paul Ehrlich, but I don't know what that means. I mean, I have Paul Ehrlich, and I had a bunch of different Gräser hybrids that could look like it, but I'm currently not sure which one that was. And there are only a bunch of seeds, so we'll see. I need to look at the photos. Sometimes I write something down, like about a plant, and it's the most nonsensical stuff that I'm writing down. But when I look at it, I usually know what it is. I know my own nonsense, you know? But with this, I'm not sure what I wanted to say there. I don't. Okay. And also very few seeds. I believe that could be one of the Gräsers Erfolg Selbstbestäubung seedlings that I've grown. But I'm not sure. Overall, maybe 30 viable seeds just from this cross. Hey, mate. Yeah, I'm not sure what they are. I mean, Paul Ehrlich, I've shown the plant a few times, but it must have been a plant that had a similar flower to it. And I had one or two, so that I just have to look at the photos so I can find out what kind of a mother plant it is. This year it was all a little bit chaotic. Next year I will put more energy into keeping track of the crosses and all. I was just thinking about a lot of stuff this year, but not cactus seeds. Every morning when I was getting up, I was losing it for like half an hour every morning. So then I had to go out to pollinate the flowers and harvest the seeds and all. It was a pretty rough year, and I'm just glad that it's over, that I'm here now, that I still did some pollinations while my life was totally chaotic. Like my wife moved out in summer in 2024, I think. And yeah, I was a mess the whole year. But luckily, I was also professional. You know, you can be a total mess, but also be a pro. Not saying that's what I did, but you can do that. Theoretically, you can do that. So this is Verlet's Legon. And it's an interesting kind of hybrid. Legon Telegonoides hybrid. And the offspring, like the body looks like Telegonoides, so it's slightly thicker, more columnar than Cantora. Interesting kind of body. Nice kind of reddish, dark red, a very subtle kind of red. I like it. I really like it. But it's become too big for the kind of flower that it has. The flower isn't world class. The flower is okay, you know. I like the body. I like what kind of a hybrid it is. Being a hybrid between Verlitz and Telegonoides. But it's a big plant. At some point, I might have to get rid of it. Once it's, I don't know. I should probably sorted it out just because of the color of the flower. But the body is really interesting. Oh yeah, Robert, I have tomato seeds here too, and I want to start them up. The Jiffy things are ordered, and I hope they will arrive this week sometime. What day is today? But I hope, like, with all the holidays and all, with New Year's Eve and all. But I hope that I can show them on the stream within the next week or so. Makes it easier to sow out. I have so many different ones that I want to experiment with. I want to put them under the plant lamp and then bring them in on a regular basis. You know, it would be great to just put them on the table to discuss what we have grown. Like what kind of a back to nature life we are doing here. I really believe that this kind of stuff is important long term to do that. I just believe that long term people will have fun with that kind of thing, going more to sowing out, trying to grow vegetables, trying to grow cacti. It's a genuinely good thing, and I'm happy that I can do it on the stream. That kind of a content, you know. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, there will always be so many cacti, you know. It's like I don't even have the time to do a lot of huge vegetable stuff yet right now. Maybe if the channel goes a little bit more like towards a farm kind of channel, then maybe a little bit more classic gardening stuff. But there are so many cacti that always need to be where you need to work on them to keep them alive, to keep them healthy. So there's not so much time. But I'm honestly, to be honest, 100% honest, I'm tired of the content that I see on social media. I've been on social media in the last week, and in the last week I was horrified because of how many just hateful posts I saw. People of like posts by people that were just attacking others, just attacking for the and arguing for the sake of arguing, that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to build my own social media a little bit more positive, that this kind of stuff that we're doing here. I'm 100% certain these values that I try to show on the channel, that kind of stuff will become big in the future. People are just tired from the over industrialized life. All the food is like complex recipes with hundreds of different additives that they're putting in the food. I believe people will go back to growing their vegetables, growing more, trying to live a little bit more, a little bit closer with nature again. And I feel like it would be great to have it on the channel. So I intentionally do not want to limit what I want to do on the channel. I'm just doing whatever that comes to our mind, whatever is fun, whatever is enjoyable, whatever can be great for the channel. And in this case here, there are also a lot of non-viable seeds again. My opinion could be from Telegonoides. One of the parents being Legon, and I need to look up the family tree. The only thing that I know is that it has Telegonoides in it, hence the name Legon. Viable seeds, maybe 120 here. When I pollinated it with something colorful. I think it was violets. No, not violets. Pink stripes. Pink stripes. And the other flower that I had got something yellow, like a big yellow kind of flower. Trying to, because the idea was to take the reddish flower that the mother has here and bring more yellow into it, maybe more size. I have a few very big yellow flowers, and I used one of those to get a bigger, maybe more colorful next generation. Okay. I will have to clean them more when I'm sowing them out, if I'm sowing them out, because I'm not sure if we have the space for that. We'll try. I'm not sure who made the hybrid cross here of the mother Verlitz Legon, but I think it's Uwe Kahle. This was the latest fruit that I had on that plant. Okay. So let me see what I have here. Candy cans. Oh yeah. This was a self-pollinated fruit. 100%. Or at least I suspect it to be self-fertile at this point. Had 5 or 6 different fruits and all full of seeds. One I didn't pollinate, and that one was also full of seeds. And I've cleaned the seeds. Normally I could just let it be, because it's the type of hybrid where you can only use it as a father if it's self-fertile. You can of course also sow out the seeds that you get from it, where it is the mother, but they would probably just follow the mother. Or there's a certain range that you get just from growing from seeds, but it would still be very similar to the mother, and I don't need it then. Then I have it. I have the mother. I don't need another plant just like it or very similar like it. I need something that takes traits from both parents. But these could be great for people who like it for the fruit, for the cactus fruit that these species have. Some species have very edible cactus fruits, and this could be a thing here with them. Because if you never have to pollinate a plant in order for it to get fruit, that's a good trait. That's a good thing to have if you just like it for the fruit. And the fact if it's self-fertile, that also means that the fruit is bigger. A lot of sludge, like pulp with seeds, and now I don't get it out of the paper towel again. Oh, come on. At some point, I should have probably not even cleaned all the 6 fruits that I got from it. But I just felt like, you can never have enough seeds. You can just give it away at some point. So we might do something like that for people who want to propagate them for the fruit. Sörensia candicans hybrid. I'm not sure if they taste any good. They could be terrible. I'm not sure. I'm not really a fan of fruit. Okay. Yeah, there are a bunch of seeds that are still stuck in the slime. But that's it. Yeah, and I think we have at least 500 seeds just from that one. Self-fertile self-fertility is something that happens a lot with Telegonoides hybrids, sometimes with Gräser hybrids. Oh, come on. Okay. A lot of seeds here. A lot more that you can actually use, that you can actually plant. But the flower was also huge. That is something that I didn't really get into yet. The flower is also great. So this is a good hybrid, actually. trying to remove the remnants of the dried pulp. Sometimes when you spread out pulp from a fruit that you dry, in order to dry the seeds, that pulp will dry up like paper a little bit, and that gets in your product, in your seeds here. So I often try to take it out before I'm sowing them out. Okay, but this is enough. I don't need to clean this type of seed extremely well. Okay. All right, guys. Let me see what we have here. I will clean these because I want to see them cleaned. This is Grandiflora, and I really like that. I'm happy that I found the seeds here. Made a bunch of crosses with Grandiflora this year, and the seeds are pretty small, and that gives me enough reason to clean them right away, to get them ready for sowing out, because the lifespan could be shorter. So I'm doing that right now. And then at some point I gotta go offline. I might actually at some point run out of battery. So these will probably be the last ones that I'm cleaning. But I will do that. Always happy to take questions if you like. If not, I will just clean those and yeah. And at some point go offline. Seeds look very similar to the seeds of Arboricola. Cerenzia arboricola. Really look like that. To me, it made a lot of sense to include them in the genus Cerenzia. If you put the different seeds aside and compare them, you can really see that you can see that a lot of them have the smaller seed size in common. It's just the thing with that genus. And personally, I'm not getting involved in any kind of large-scale taxonomy, nomenclature, that kind of name describing kind of thing. I don't want to have anything to do with that. A lot of people in the past, like the Cactus, like the people that were known and like Buckeberg and you know, they always argued about names. They constantly wrote descriptions just to put their name down somewhere. I don't need that. I don't need that. I have absolutely no interest in becoming overly active in that kind of stuff. I like the plants. I care about the plants. I'm a breeder. And that is all that matters to me. And it also doesn't matter what kind of name I have on a plant. The plant stays the same. That's why so many old school breeders, they just eventually no longer change their names, because they've been through a bunch of different name changes in their life, and at some point you just lose interest to follow. I have not. Is that some sort of a chili kind of thing? I haven't. I'm just getting started with that. I mean, I once had a bunch of plants where I bought me little seedlings already, little chili seedlings, maybe 20 years ago. Oh yeah, I do not know them. But I will look into that. I will just experiment. It's not something where I have huge interest in it because I don't even like spicy food. I don't like that, but I like them as plants. They're interesting plants. Nice to grow, could be fun to grow, could be fun to hybridize with, play around, make a bunch of different hybrid crosses here and there. And apparently there's a pretty big scene of breeders that do that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah. There's a lot of dirt in this cross. I might have to clean these again underwater. Let me see how much battery I still have. Oh, it's not bad. Oh yeah, I mean, it wouldn't matter what kind of a letter it is. I do not. I don't know the cultivars. I looked at the page of that seed seller where I bought them on eBay, and I wasn't even sure if that guy is really a breeder. Sometimes it's hard to tell if you are like, if someone is just a reseller or a breeder. And at this point I didn't want to get so deeply involved to but if I like it, if it's fun to do, then maybe we will do it on a regular basis and also create our own hybrids. I just feel like it would be great to do in the stream. And I just want to play around a little, just do different kind of stuff so it doesn't become boring. So we always have something interesting to do in winter. And in spring, it's just a few months away, and then the cactus stuff will begin again. The classic day-to-day cactus stuff. We're already halfway through the winter. Okay. Yeah, there's a bunch of big stuff that everything and it all holds a bunch of seeds here and there. I hate when I have to do that. I might actually clean these underwater again. Sometimes you just need to do a second cleaning. I had Carolina Reaper seeds and had tried to grow them, but I think the seeds were too old at the time. But I did the same. I wanted to. A friend of mine sent me seeds like 15 years ago, and I still found the seeds, but they weren't viable anymore. But this is, I find it interesting just from a plant protection kind of perspective. You know how they develop that spiciness to keep us away, and we keep trying to raise the bar, trying to increase the spiciness every time. And yeah, at some point it's barely edible anymore. I don't think I could eat them. Like the really spicy ones, I don't think I could eat them. I don't even like spicy food. It's just something that it's just cool plants. I like the purple ones, like when they are these purple looking kind of chili plants where the whole plant looks interesting. I like that. And they might not be so hard to grow. with the plant, if everything goes right, and if I can get stuff like maybe spider mites and that kind of stuff, if we can get that under control indoors, then it would be great. I'm looking forward to it. Okay. So I think I will go offline. I'm getting to the point where I really feel like I can't clean these anymore here. They need to go under running water a second time. And then I hopefully that second cleaning will be better. Apart from that, I now have maybe 15 crosses that are on kitchen paper, dried on kitchen paper. And then we will clean more seeds like on the channel. Okay, I gotta go offline at some point. The muscle problems come back. It's always, for me, it's always a lot of effort to talk still. So yeah, I'm taking off for the rest of the day, but I appreciated it. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for always doing the stream with me. So many people, I see them on a regular basis, and I appreciate that. So thank you, guys. Yeah, and I will be back tomorrow. Thank you, Robert. Take care, guys. I'll be back.